Welcome back.
Welcome back.
All right. Do you want to start or do I start?
I don't care. We don't really have a structure of the show yet.
This was my first question I was going to have. So right now, you've been explaining to me all week, there's this drama going on with the Tana Mongeau show.
Uh-huh. Tana Mojo. But you know,
There's an N in her name though, right?
there is, but looking at the spelling, her spelling of her last name is so interesting that it's like nobody ever gets it right.
Well, I think she gets it wrong because it's pronounced Mongeau or Mongeau.
But I think it's like French or something.
The
It's like,
French don't.
it's like Tana Mojo.
Nobody loses an N in that way. You know, if anything, you would lose the G, like in sign,
Have
like
the French ever
SIGN.
done anything right?
They've done a lot of stuff right, but I think accidentally.
Actually, cheese.
Or did they invent cheese?
I think they just have a lot of good cheeses.
They got a lot of cows. Isn't it funny thinking about, this is a really ignorant statement I'm about to make. Isn't it strange thinking about like, oh yeah, they have cows in France. I don't see, where are they keeping them?
I know. Remember like 2 summers ago?
In the Eiffel Tower?
I looked up, I was like, cows aren't even from America, are they? But
Yeah, no, they're
You
like
assume-
worshipped in India.
yeah, it's like they're
So they must be from there.
No, they are from India. We looked
Yeah.
this up before. They're from India, but it's amazing how it's like the cows are really the backbone of America.
Yeah, yes, but even crazier though to me is that horses aren't from America.
I know.
I imagined when Christopher Columbus and
In Squad,
Squad and the crew, the boys, when they rolled in, and it was very controversial now, even though it was like you did. The Native Americans greeted them on horses. They're like, hey,
Yeah.
the hell are you whiteys doing here?
Yeah, but no, they brought the horses.
Get
I
out of here,
guess.
white boy.
Get out of here, what boy?
That's what I imagine.
I think that's basically what went down. I was talking
Yeah.
last night about, and I was like, I think that like there are miniseries we create eventually. It's just like a comedy, like but of like accurate history things because you read
Yeah.
so much history, and the way
Yeah.
you explain it to me is very funny.
I kind of just cherry pick hey, this is the funniest moment
Yeah.
of this audiobook or this book. And the one we were talking about last night, which I still think is like the funniest thing, I think about it once a week, is because I went through a phase where I was going through the best biography for each president. I stopped after Madison because there's not really a good Jimmy Monroe one for some reason. And then John Quincy Adams, there's a good one, but it was like, there's kind of like a boring period. There was
Yeah.
the Revolution, and then there's sort of like Andrew Jackson there was some crazy stuff with
Yeah.
him. He's very controversial too, because speaking of Native Americans, he killed a lot of them.
Yeah.
He did. And
But there's like a lot of presidents where it's like, I know there's so many, obviously I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
I really don't feel like I can name that many presidents. And that's kind of embarrassing considering there isn't that many.
yeah, so right now they're fighting for who would be number 47.
Mm-hmm.
But it would actually be,
We would still only have had 46.
it would actually, I think, only be the 46th because I think it was Grover Cleveland who was basically, or no. No, it'd be 45 because Trump would be both number 45 president and 47. He would keep both titles.
But there's been a 46 since then. So there's been 46 presidents.
No, there's only been 44
Oh, JK.
right
Okay.
now because Grover Cleveland was the same thing where he was president, then not president, then president.
How can we forget the Groves?
Well, I actually just read something that I'm not. It takes us too far. About he's basically the worst guy ever, apparently, for personal stuff.
Oh, okay.
For personal stuff, he was not a good man. But anyway, the thing we were talking about is this Washington and Jefferson book. The two of them were really against slaves. Like, slavery's bad.
Slavery's
Okay,
bad.
We don't think slavery should be a thing. And then they were the most powerful people in the country, and they both said, "But like, it doesn't make sense now. Like, you know what I mean? Like, there shouldn't be slaves, but it would hurt the economy. So I think I should probably keep my slaves.
Yeah.
Like, and even further, just being like, slavery is evil. That said, if I just let them all go, it would actually be worse for them. It's good that they're slaves.
Yeah, he's like, this is good for them. And for me, yeah, they were doing their justification rounds.
Yeah. And then when Washington, when he died, he freed all of his personal slaves, and his wife, old Martha, he couldn't free any of her slaves that she inherited through like when her father died, because technically they were hers. But she also said, like, once I die, all my slaves will go free. Like once I'm dead, they'll go free. And so her house got set ablaze like 4 times and was like, who do you think did it? And then she like, I almost said called a friend, but she like consulted with, I think, her nephew or something, and was like, what should I do? I think my slaves are trying to kill me because, once I die, they're completely free. And the friend was like, free the fucking slaves.
Yeah, let them go.
They're going to kill you.
Let them go. You're good, girl.
For good reason, they'll kill you.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
You kidding? If I was them, I'd be like, okay, so how can we move this timeline up?
Yeah, like...
I don't want to be with this bitch Martha. Like,
because I don't remember how much longer she lived, but like, I don't know. I feel like women live way longer than their husbands.
yeah, typically.
That's always the case. You ever notice that? I live on Wikipedia, and the amount of times where it's like, oh yeah, this woman is 97. She was married to her husband for 47 years, and then he died in 1997, and she's just been kicking for an extra, 25 years.
Yeah.
It's awesome.
Yeah.
Good for you guys.
Good
Kudos.
for the gals. Yeah, maybe it's like the ideal life for women is to like, yay, have like a long, healthy marriage, and then you're like, I'm just gonna end the life with a couple decades, maybe with the gals.
Yeah. Make a book club.
Yeah.
And by book club, I mean like the movie Book Club with Diane Keaton and
Squad.
the other old bitches. All of the old actresses who like crushed Woody Allen movies.
Yeah.
And in the 80s and 90s were kind of like, they were the romantic love interests of like the Kevin Kline and the Warren Beatty types. Let's cast them all in a group. And it's like, they still got it. We're going to eat baked goods and drink wine and just laugh.
Yeah, because that's just what being a gal is. It's
Yeah.
just goofing off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My initial question is, so you've been explaining to me all this podcast drama.
Oh, yeah.
What would happen if one of us like was getting canceled or something?
Well, we're married, so
It would be
it's
me.
a little different.
It would be, yeah. You think they'd be pressuring you to divorce me? Like she stayed with him.
I don't know, because I feel like when like your friends, it's easier to be like, okay, I'm cutting you out, but like honestly, I really don't respect. It's hard to say because I was gonna say I don't respect when people like don't stick by their spouse sort of thing.
Depending on what it is.
But yeah, it obviously depends on what it is.
It's like, you murdered a lot of people. Leave.
Yeah, leave.
Leave.
Maybe
leave now.
don't
Yeah.
stand by your man. But like, yeah, but I stand beside you, honey.
I know you would. Well, there's probably a lot of because it's all old tweets. That's what gets people, right?
Yeah, I think so. I don't know. That always I like looked through my Twitter a handful of times, just being like, oh, like I don't know what I said, but I also remember that I was pretty heavily monitored online, like
by parents and stuff.
Yeah, like my mom,
and also by you always had an audience.
Yeah, I had an audience, and I was always under like contracts and stuff like that. If they like said anything, I'd get like an email.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got in trouble a handful of times for like other stuff of like,
yeah,
I don't know, like be appropriate. But yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I feel like it's so tough because I also have the digital footprint of like the century.
Yeah.
I think maybe what will get me more is like I came from an opinion show.
True.
You'll
get the witch hunt after you more.
Yeah, but the thing is, I feel like I've had the witch hunt as I said those things. Honestly, the worst, it's like I've said things against like guns and like stuff like real issues, and obviously 50% of people are going to disagree with me on those things. So of course I'm going to get like yelled at or whatever on like issues. But I'll say that the worst I ever got was dude saying anything about Taylor Swift.
You know what? I think that's the case for most people.
Yeah.
I think most people who have ever gotten shit, like from multiple things, they'll say, oh yeah, my Taylor Swift debacle.
Yes.
That was the worst. That was the most, that aged me the most.
Yeah. Yeah. That I said something. Oh, do you know what? I said like literally nothing about Justin Bieber, and I got like a hate edit made about me on Twitter, and I was like, all I said was like, is there ever a music video where he's like not making out with a girl? And everyone was like, so, like it was one of those, and I was like, guys, I like the Biebs.
Yeah, and like I feel like Justin Bieber doesn't have shooters out there anymore. I feel like he doesn't have the diehards. They all kind of
Yeah, Taylor Swift kind of has like the generational thing where it's like.
So what did you say about her? Let's reload this. You said she was a tall bitch.
I said she's tall.
She's a
skinny.
skank.
She's tall, skinny, and rich.
Yes, and she's terrible.
No, I don't.
She's a bad driver.
She's a bad driver. That's also what I said. Yeah.
You said you could just tell by looking at her. You didn't even see her drive. You just knew.
And if I ever called her a slut, it wasn't to be like, she's a slut. It's to be like, yeah, slut. I'm not going to slut shame. Let's get out there, ladies. Do your thing. But
you just leaned into the mic in the perfect way where it was like, I'm not going to, you like looked this way. I'm not going to slut shame. Get out there, ladies. Do your thing.
Do your thing.
Yeah.
Hey, I'm pro slut. Always.
I know you are.
Yeah.
I'm not. I think you women shouldn't see the sun.
Yeah.
You
I
know?
don't know why you're allowing me to speak on the microphone right now.
Well, because we live in a world where you have rights.
That's true.
Unfortunately.
Yeah, I'm your diversity hire.
Pretty much.
I'm Coolwood Comedy's diversity hire.
Pretty much. Because before you, it was just me and a bunch of white guys who I happen to be related to.
Yeah.
Okay? I always thought it was like, because when I first started doing this stuff, it was, well, I guess it wasn't related to Neuheisel, but we all looked like we could be related. And I was like, how many more people could I add before they're like, wow, there's something I really enjoy.
It would have been really funny though if you just kept getting white guys that like looked very similar, so it just became almost impossible to tell you as apart. I think that would have been really funny. It would have been the thing like, is one guy playing all of these roles?
Yeah, because Neuheisel was like my size.
Yeah.
But had Henry's blonde hair.
Yeah.
So it was really confusing.
Yes. But his name was also Jack.
And his name was Jack. So it was
but he
very
looked like Henry.
Yes.
Yeah.
But again, like if we all stood next to each other, like if we all wore hats, you would think me and Neuheisel are the same person. Like from behind, I'm saying. Like it was just confusing.
Yeah.
The whole thing, we were just a big Venn diagram. But maybe it's was it masochistic where it's like I do kind of enjoy when people are upset with me on the internet. You don't like it. You don't like it.
I do not.
So come at me, not my wife.
Don't come at my husband because that'll actually stress me out.
Okay, so don't do it. Don't do it.
And guys, I've been in therapy for 13 years.
Yeah.
Let's not add more therapy to the roster.
I mean, speaking of therapy, that's the worst we ever got.
What?
When we made the therapy sketch.
Oh my God. And that I'll stand 10 toes down on. You guys just didn't get the joke.
That's the thing. I'm fine with people being upset with me because I'm stand behind everything that we say.
That was different to me because that was so clearly just people not understanding the joke. And that's different than us being deliberately mean or something like that. It's like, that's different.
What even was the joke? It was
like you wanted to go to therapy or something like that and you were embarrassed and I was being like nice and was like, oh, and you're like, okay, maybe I should go to therapy. And then I called you a pussy.
Yeah.
I was like, ha, like pussy.
And people were like, this isn't funny.
And it's like, guys, the joke is that's what you're afraid of is people judge. Like that doesn't actually happen.
Yeah.
Is people being like, pussy. I mean, like it happens, but it's like, that's not the scary nightmare thing in your head of everyone being like, ha, pussy. It's like, that's not.
Therapy, I will say, is one of those things where for me, someone who's not in therapy, you know, we've talked about before, it's like, I doubt I ever will be just because I like to forget.
I know.
And which I know is not healthy.
That's why I think you should go to therapy.
But you know what? That's what they all say. That's what everybody who's in therapy is the biggest salesman for therapy. And I can't tell if it's either because it really is fantastic, which is probably the case.
It's
probably the case.
What, you don't think I'm less cuckoo than when you met me?
I think you're equally as cuckoo crazy as when I met you. But everybody's the biggest salesman for it once they're in it. And I can't tell if it's because it's fantastic or if it's because there's like an insecurity for like, hey, I'm in therapy. And if you're in therapy, I feel better about being in therapy. This is really just for men though. Women, it's not really the case.
No, that's real too.
Yeah.
Because there is like the stigma around like men and stuff like that.
Well,
but,
yeah.
Yeah, but it's like, I always think it's like, maybe we should, not that we have any problems, but I'm like, maybe we should do couples counseling.
No.
But not.
No. Oh my God.
But
this is so stupid. No. And I'll tell you why. I'll tell you why. Because this is just, it's going to be you guys teaming up against me. You know it will. And even worse. There's actually a really good likelihood because I'm pretty good with people that it'll be me and the therapist against you. And that'll get me in bigger trouble. That'll get me in even bigger trouble, sweetie. Yes, it will.
No. I think if we were to, I'm not saying we have any problems because we don't. We never fight.
Never. Yeah, when we get in a fight, usually you're right. And I just say, yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
You're right.
But like, I think it's something maybe we could benefit from just because we obviously we're married, but also we work together. We are together 24/7. And it's just like the thing is of like, is there some sort of like way we should be handling things being so like unit?
What does that even mean, though?
I don't know.
We should be handling things. Should we?
I'm just saying. What if you have grievances with me you didn't even know?
I have plenty of grievances with you I don't even know. I'm sure.
Go.
I'm saying the grievances I don't even know. I'm sure of.
Okay.
I'm sure I do. I mean, we've talked about how when you first moved in, my all of my things went from hairless to now it's like I'm living with like 12 dogs who shed, like 12 long-haired winter dogs who in the summer have to lose a coat.
Yeah.
And it's like that, but you know what? That never bothered me. It was just, I remember like
it's an adjustment.
The first like year, the whole time was just like, and I'm terrified. I know I was constantly terrified because I kept on thinking things are spiders because your hair is so dark. Well, your eyelashes too.
I would leave my eyelashes. I remember like the first time I slept over, I left my eyelashes there, and you were like,
"Scared the Jesus out of me."
Yeah, you thought it was a bug.
Yeah.
I was just marking my territory.
Yeah, which is good. No, I'm sure there's things that I'd be like, yeah, and you know what else? But here's the thing. Here's the thing, sweetie. A lot of that stuff, what good does it do?
What if we have a relationship therapist on? What if we do a live therapy episode?
I would be so down to do a live therapy episode, but here's the thing. Would you be comfortable with me basically questioning the therapist the whole time and be like, what do you do?
I think they're really used to that.
Is it just listening?
I think they're very used to that.
Not used to it from somebody like me. They're used to it.
I think they are.
They're used to it from some husband who's in the doghouse. They're used to it from some husband who cheated or lied or something. And so they're going to this as like sort of like not a Treaty of Versailles, if you will, but like they're going to this as maybe I'll be in less trouble. It's, you know what it is? It's when somebody gets canceled and they say, I'm taking a time off and I'm meeting with this group to learn and do the work and be better. It feels like that, but for relationships. Me, who's done nothing wrong, I'm coming in there swinging. I'm coming there. I have nothing to lose.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like I will take notes of the therapist notes for a couple. This is not personal therapist. This is couples therapist.
Couples therapist.
I just feel like there's no way for them not to be on one person's side.
Well, but that's the thing is it doesn't have to be a you versus me in therapy. It could just be like hey, this is our situation.
Then we're just having a conversation with a friend we're paying?
Yeah. That's pretty much what therapy feels like.
We can have tons of conversations with people we don't have to pay.
But how often are you opening up to your friends?
Almost never.
Exactly. Like there's sometimes where I'm like, I don't really have much to talk about. And then every time I like do the thing where I'm like, I'm gonna spread it out. Like I'm not gonna go for like a month or whatever. Yeah. The second I do that, I feel like I jinx myself and I'm like, I'm in shambles. I'm like, I need to talk to someone.
It's so funny though, because like you'll do therapy and then sometimes it'll be like, depending on like what's going on, you know, we just got married, just all these different things. I'm like, I don't want to have any input in your therapy. Yeah. But every now and then I'm like, I kind of want to give you a list of things that I think you should talk to her about. It's like, did you address? You have kind of done that to me before where you go, did you tell her about this? Make sure you talk about this thing because that's really been eating you up. Yeah. And sometimes I'm like, it didn't come up. Yeah, sometimes when you say it didn't come up, I'm like, oh, it didn't come up. Oh. What convo did you guys get stuck on? Other things. God, I would love to be a therapist. Just be like, and that's all the time we have for today. Next week, same time. And then my other favorite part of therapy is homework. Yeah. I love homework. If a motherfucker I was paying tried to give me homework, I'd be very upset. But how are you supposed to get anything out of it? You do homework. I'm paying you. You have to get something out of it though. Like if you right? It's not just like a venting room. It's like, let's do some change. Let's change. Change who we are. Yeah. I do care. Anyway, so if we get canceled, it'd be not funny. It'd be bad. Be bad. Be really bad. I don't want to get canceled. Good luck, Tana Monjo. She'll be fine. They'll always come back. That's the thing is everyone always, for the most part, comes back. I'm trying to think of honestly, I guess Shane Dawson kind of But he stepped away. But it's like kind of feels like he got true canceled, which is crazy because he was around for so long. Yeah. And then, I guess he has a podcast, I think now, and they obviously have consistent viewers still. But it's I have not heard one single thing about their podcast or about anything going on in their lives since they stepped away. I didn't even know they had a podcast till recently. Yeah. I don't know. It's interesting. Because I don't really feel like he got canceled as much as he got canceled, and then he just was like, and I'm out.
I don't even remember. There was I feel like he was in so much drama in the end. It was like, I don't even know what really did it.
He always unsettled me.
Yeah. I was always a really big fan.
Yeah.
That was like, because I just loved OG YouTube. Like I loved like.
Oh yeah.
I remember he had like a second channel where he'd like vlog like behind the scenes to his videos. And I remember him having like, I think it was like fake strippers or something in his video. And he like hired them all off of like Craigslist or whatever, like these actress girls.
Yeah.
One of them, Trisha Paytas.
No way.
And that's how like they met or something like that.
Yeah.
Like some video he made, and then like he was like, you're hilarious and awesome or whatever. And he like put her in that vlog. But I like clearly remember her being like, oh yeah, I'm like the world's fastest talker. And I was like, oh my God, that's crazy. And like, I'm like, it's been like, it's crazy how long ago that feels.
Yeah. No, I mean, you're right. We're approaching where it's like 20 years.
I know.
It's not 20 years yet, but it's like in a few years, Smosh will be 20 years.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. And our old company will be 20 years. Probably soon.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's crazy. No, I never could watch Shane Dawson.
He's definitely not your humor.
Not my humor, not my kind of guy.
Not your kind of guy.
No, he always looks sticky.
Yeah, but that was kind of his brand.
And I don't like that brand.
And that's okay.
I don't like
that's not for you.
I like people who look showered.
Yeah.
And dry. And, dressed to greet the day.
I agree.
And to beat the day.
Yeah, I am kind of in like that phase of my adulthood where I'm like, come on, guys, put in a little effort.
I don't like when people put in no effort.
Yeah. I don't either.
Yeah.
Like there was...
Or I don't, and I also don't like the putting in effort to look like you're putting in no effort.
Yes, that's what just do it then.
Yeah.
Because the people who don't put in any effort are always the people who have something to say when you're the person who like does kind of like put an effort or whatever. They're like, oh, like who you dressed up for? Yeah. And it's like, I'm seeing you today and I respect you, so I'm going to put on some pants.
Yeah. Fucking anyone.
I know. Like there was kind of like, I feel like office culture, especially like in the entertainment and like tech world or whatever, it's super like, we wear pajamas and sweats and this and that to work, which is like, it's fine to do that sometimes. Totally get it.
Yeah.
But I hate the feeling of that as a unit, because to me, I feel like everyone just like starts to chill out. I feel like I can't really get work done unless I'm a little uncomfortable.
I don't know necessarily with the uncomfortable thing, because I'm a man and I specifically get all my clothes to be as comfortable as possible. There's not one thing I own that isn't stretchy to some extent, even though it doesn't look it. But I totally agree too. Like there's something to, that's why I always have my shoes on. That was one of the first things that you always pointed out.
You always have your shoes on.
I wake up, I put my shoes on.
Yeah.
Because I'm doing things.
I just couldn't put my shoes on all day.
Yeah, but women have different relationships with shoes.
That's true.
You could wear sandals to a restaurant if they're like cool sandals or fashion sandals. I don't even know what that means, but sometimes you'll wear sandals to a restaurant. If I wear flip-flops to a steakhouse, I hope they'd kick me out.
Honestly, if you wore flip-flops to a steakhouse, I'd be like, we're not going.
Yeah, of course not.
I'd pull your ear like you were a child. I'd be like, get back in the car.
Yeah, no.
But yeah, it was like, especially towards the end with like our old company or whatever, or honestly just like working with like other people or producers like on like the talent side, sometimes like I'd get annoyed from like, I'd show up, like I'd wake up at like 4:35 in the morning so I could be camera ready. I'm respecting their shoot.
Damn right.
Like I'm going to not half-ass it. I'm going to look good for you. I'm going to show up. I'm going to like do all these things to start my day, so that way we're going to have the best shoot. Like I want to give you the best version of myself. And a lot of people like I'd shoot with sometimes, they would come in like ponytail off to the side, pajamas, blanket over their shoulders. Like they like,
it's so funny as you're describing one person right now.
I know, but there were several.
There were a few. There were a few.
There was one really bad person.
Yes.
And it's like, I'm not like, oh, they're a bad person, but like it would irk me from like someone working with them where I'd be like, I really showed up today.
Yeah.
Like, that's why I do hate a lot of like the podcasts, like interview people now when podcasters interview celebrities woke up that morning. They paid for a glam team. They like pulled clothes for this. They were like, they showed up for this thing, and obviously they're getting promotion out of this, but it's like the interviewer's sitting on the couch wearing sweats. No, not that you have to wear makeup, but like, I don't know, like just not putting in any effort. It almost feels disrespectful to me. And that's kind of making me feel like a boomer lately, is where I'm like, come on, put in a little effort for me. I feel disrespected. No,
I totally agree with you. And I will say, like, the most of the people we're talking about, the person we're specifically talking about, I just remember it was like, she was like a level or two below me at the company. And so it's like, at first when I got there, because it was like that when I got there, I was just like, what are you doing? Eventually, though, I started realizing like this is ridiculous. I agree there shouldn't be a dress code for most things, like creative places.
You really don't need one, like unless it's like someone's coming in that day or there's like something important's happening. Yeah, I agree.
The people I will give a pass to though are editors.
100%.
Because if you don't know, if you're an editor, especially for like a big company where it's like an editing house type thing, all the lights are basically off.
Yeah,
you can see the computer better.
Yeah, they basically like shut the windows. Like you're in like a cave all day.
Yeah,
that I get. No one's even seeing you.
Yeah, and especially if you are in, you want the temperature to be relatively cold just for the computers.
Yes,
because your editing takes a lot of, especially when we worked there, a lot of computing power and stuff. They overheat. Obviously, PCs and stuff have fans, but they keep it cold. And the windows are down, so there's no sun heating anything up. And if you work in a larger office space where the rest of the people have the sun like shining in with the windows and stuff, they got the AC for 72. Mm-hmm. It becomes so cold in editing places. Put the blanket over if you feel like it.
Yeah.
Wear the sweatpants. It's kind of sleepover. Hey, let's watch a movie at 1 a.m. Maybe it's porn, maybe it's not. That sort of vibe for a sleepover.
Yeah, no, I agree. But yeah, so I feel like on this podcast I keep being like with everyone.
Yeah.
Maybe I'm just a complainer.
No, you're not.
I'm a complainer.
You are a complainer. But as you've said to me, and this is why we don't need therapy, as you've said to couples therapy, as you said to me, you complain to get it out of you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But sometimes I just feel like I have really strong feelings about things that really don't matter. Like it's like genuinely if I was working in because it's like I've worked several places where it's like it's literally comfy, like nobody wears whatever. I'm not actually offended or think less of anyone or like whatever, but it's like I do just get a little bit like, come on guys, it's the principle.
It's the principle of the matter. It really is.
Yeah.
I agree, sweet baby.
I just get my panties in a bunch sometimes.
Yeah.
I got thoughts.
So the WHO, the WHO, World Health Organization.
Okay.
Just I think it was today or yesterday, declared that there's an emergency for Mpox.
Monkeypox?
Well, we don't say monkeypox anymore.
Oh, what happened? Mpox. I'm sorry, I missed the memo on that one.
Okay, well, it was actually really funny. It was actually like weirdly funny. Where it was called monkeypox. I think because it came from monkeys.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
But it was started and was spreading in Africa. And so we were like, we can't call it monkeypox. That's offensive. And it's like, I wasn't even thinking that.
Neither was I.
Until you said it. You're racist. Like,
oh man,
that's ridiculous. Anyway,
I apologize.
Mpox is spreading.
I thought they had that under control. Damn.
I think they did. But then now they don't. Makes you wonder. It's an election year.
That is true.
Just always makes you wonder. I'm not saying anything. I'm saying nothing.
Remember when the swine flu was like all the rage?
Yeah.
Was it like Obama election year?
Do you know what swine is?
Pig.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So many people I had no idea that means pig flu.
Really?
Yeah. I like how we named the flu after the animal.
Yeah.
We
didn't call COVID like the bat flu though.
Because it wasn't from bats, baby.
Oh yeah. But I liked the idea that it was.
Baby. There might have been bats around the Wuhan laboratory.
It's freaking bats.
Where they were working on diseases and where this disease started.
Yeah, I love how they were like, no, that's not what happened. And then like 2 years after the pandemic, they're like, okay, well, yeah, that's what happened.
I'm not saying it was like, well, I mean, anything's possible.
Anything's possible.
I mean, through God, all things are possible. Yeah. So jot that down. Yeah, no, that was that was really funny. But it wasn't even. It was the pangolin. Remember? That was what they said COVID came from.
Yes.
And people were like, "You mean like the armored vehicle of animals?" Because they're like kind of like a Humvee type setup. It's so cool how some animals have turtles have shells.
I know.
They grow the shells, correct?
It's like part of like their skeleton, right?
That's bananas.
I think if you like scratch a turtle shell, like they feel it, like you could pet them like that.
Whereas like hermit crabs, they'll find a shell.
Yeah, they kind of drop off. They lease a new one, and then
Okay, so silly question.
Okay, there's no such thing as silly questions.
Sweetie, this entire podcast is silly questions.
That's true. That's true.
We can rename the podcast Silly Questions.
Silly cues?
Silly Q. You know, that actually would bother me after a while. Silly Q's.
You know that's how I talk.
I know that is how you talk. And that's why we don't need therapy, because I appreciate it. I appreciate how you talk. I appreciate your differences. But it's so funny because I'm sure somebody listening to this is like, you know what, they should go to a couple of therapists.
Yeah, definitely.
But okay, so hermit crabs, are they born with mini versions of the shells, do you think? Or do they born naked?
Are they born in the nude? I don't know, actually.
Because
you picture them with the shell from...
Where do these shells that they then find come from? I always enjoy it.
See, this is what I mean by there's no silly questions, because that was a great question.
That's a great question.
Know.
Yeah. So here's the thing. Do we have an email address for people to answer?
We can set one up.
What's our public pool podcast.com?
Yeah, should we? Yeah, just do like
email it public.
Holla at us at.
That you can't do that.
Kidding.
Yeah, you can't do that because then how do you spell holla at us?
HOLLA.
I don't want to have to spell it every time.
US. Holla at us at public pool podcast.
I think we just call it like email at publicpoolepodcast.com.
Okay, Mr. Sucks the fun out of email addresses.
Well, yeah. I'm not going to make it a super long email address where people are like, is it holla or holler?
Holla. Whatever. Creative differences.
Creative differences. We'll do email. Tell you what, for now, we'll do email at publicpoolepodcast.com. And you get to choose the next thing we disagree about.
I get to choose the next email address?
Deal? Yeah. Or the next just like thing where it's like, what should we do? This or that? I chose this. Okay. If you're watching the YouTube, we're shaking hands right now. I chose this. And you know what this handshake represents? That we don't need couples therapy.
Actually,
do you see a couple?
Actually, no. Do you know what I see in this handshake?
What?
I'm reaching out way more than you are.
Because we're literally holding our hands in the middle of the table. Who has longer arms, would you say, between the two of us? Which one?
Actually, I think no, you'd have longer
arms. I
have
way longer arms.
But we have the same, legs.
Yeah, well, that's why I have longer arms. I have a larger torso.
Yeah, you have a larger torso. I've got legs for days. Yeah, I'm like a Barbie where they're like all legs, no torso. And it's
poor you. You're
but
built
have
like a Barbie.
Have you ever seen those, they're like the accurate ratio Barbie thing where it's like, that's a scary person?
Yeah.
That's me.
Did you ever, obviously, because you were a child, read the Guinness Book of World Records?
Of course. I had 2008's edition, 2009, 2010.
And I loved they were all holographic, which at the time I was like, how do we have this technology?
My favorite.
How can you make it's like it's coming at me?
Yeah.
How do you do that?
It's the best.
Have you ever seen one from 1995?
Yeah.
They looked like a old shitty Webster's dictionary.
Yeah.
But I'm sure they were really interesting. Mm-hmm. Anyway, do you know, I don't know what year it was, but there was one where there was a picture where it's like woman with the longest legs.
Oh, yeah.
And it was kind of with a wide angle thing. And I remember being like, this doesn't really showcase how long her legs are.
They need for comparison.
I want to see it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, I don't know why that just made me think about that. But anyway, if you know, are hermit crabs born with shells? Let me know. Because otherwise, where do those shells that they...
Maybe they are born with shells and then they
drop them and someone else uses it?
Yeah, you're right, though. But how does the different sizes continue to go on if someone else isn't growing them? How do they just form?
I don't know. Well, because they're not naturally occurring things. Or is there another animal that is born with shells and then they die?
We could Google this.
No, that's the whole point, sweetie.
Okay,
we want people to message us.
No fact checking.
Yeah. I think it's a rule for the podcast.
No fact checking.
I'm 90% sure it was
I'll
Grover
agree to that
Cleveland.
rule.
Yeah. No couples therapy. No couples therapy.
No fact checking.
Yeah, but whenever, by the way, we're just shaking hands again.
We're just shaking hands.
And as you'll note, mine is actually much more extended than Michaela's is. You see?
I look like the weakest handshake in this. Let me bingo wing.
Look at how my hands are over here. I have very large hands.
Yeah, you do.
Look at that. I like that. Oh, that's a 5 finger on your wrist right there.
It's nice.
Yeah, it's nice. It's a nice handshake. I feel stay with that. Anyway, I enjoy whenever, and I know people are like, this isn't okay. I really find it fun when you see a hermit crab who's moved into an old Pepsi can. I think that's so fun. It was so sad. It works for them.
It's living in trash.
It's probably better. It's probably better than they would have moved into a different shell if one, but then they were like, holy shit, this one's metal.
Yeah, I guess that's true.
Yeah, it's way more like, it's way stronger.
Yeah.
Durable.
It's new.
When we're talking durability.
Talking durability.
Yeah.
Yeah. Points for durability.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I enjoy watching animals, especially marine life, interact with trash. I really think it's fun.
You can quote that. Jack O'Shea loves seeing marine life and trash. That's why he's anti-recycling.
I am anti-recycling. And it's less about I can't wait for you to say, there was one time where you were like, what did you say to me? He's like, well, I forgot, you're anti-charity. It's like, I'm not anti-charity. I am not anti-charity.
I forgot you hate charity.
Yeah, and it was like, I don't hate charity. I hate a lot of charity organizations that are bullshit.
Yeah.
They're just businesses.
Yeah, so many of them are just businesses.
There's just businesses that happen to give 1% of their stuff, of the money they make, away.
Yeah. Honestly, it's like, go fund me as much as you can. Just direct to the source.
Yeah, but even then you have to be careful because it's like, man, it's easy to lie.
But I'd rather be scammed by an individual versus a company where it's not actually going anywhere. If you're scamming, you probably need it. That's my mentality.
I mean, that's a I don't know how true that is. The Sackler family with the opioid epidemic, you could argue that they were scamming. In fact, they definitely were. Yeah. Do you think they needed it?
You know
did the Sacklers?
You know me.
No, stand by your word. Stand by your statement.
When someone broke into my car, you got mad at me because I refused to press charges.
Fucking press charges, baby. We live in a society.
No, baby. I was like, I wish I can give him the money in my purse that he stole. He probably needs it.
The man had been in and out of prison for breaking and entering for a decade. Things weren't getting better.
Because the prison system is messed up.
He didn't steal anything of value from your car.
No, he didn't. So that's why I didn't feel good pressing charges. So I said no.
What if he?
But then I still
what if your
go to court.
What if your wedding dress was in the car? What if he stole your wedding dress?
That'd be different.
Okay, it'd be different. You would still probably be like, I don't want to press charges.
No, I would.
You would?
I would.
Okay.
But because he stole, one, it was my fault. Mm-hmm. Because I left my car unlocked. My B.
Yeah.
Step one, you caught me slipping. Two, there was like a purse in my car that was like my trash purse, where it was like I didn't actually have anything in it. It was like where I throw like the gift cards that have like 70 cents left on them and like gum wrappers and trash. Like it was like a trash purse. Sure. Somehow my car would not have known if this purse went missing. Would not have known. So I didn't feel right knowing that, because the police also told us that he was on probation, and so I didn't want to be the reason that he went back to jail.
So what this just makes me think about, though, is so it sounds an awful lot like I would never lay a finger on you. But it sounds a little bit like you're like, you don't understand. So I was wearing protective padding when he hit me.
That's not it.
And it didn't really matter because I was gonna put makeup on anyway. So
that is not the same.
It just feels a little bit like, yeah, I know in this specific instance.
I just didn't feel like a victim in this moment. Where I did feel like a victim, we had to give up our 4th of July because we had to go to court.
Hey, we had one of the most fun mornings of our life. That was really fun.
That was actually really fun. So
it was stressful, sure.
So even though I said I didn't want to press charges, I don't know. Apparently they did for some reason.
Because they were like, we got to get this guy off the street. But then he was stealing from people.
We saw him at court, and he looked like a completely normal guy to me.
There's not really a gray area between like something and stealing. Like he broke into our apartment complex, broke into the garage.
First of all, he was on drugs. He didn't know what he was doing.
That's insane. That's insane. Most people who commit crimes are on some sort of drug.
I know. I was JKing.
Yeah.
But so...
He was on cigarettes.
So they subpoenaed me as a witness. Mm-hmm. I didn't witness anything. So we had to go to court on like a July 5th. Mm-hmm. So we didn't get to do anything July 4th. And that was one of the most entertaining, because I was like, you have to go with me. I'm not going to court by myself. I'm scared.
You think I would for a second let you go to court by yourself? Fuck no. Of course I'm taking you.
That was because it was at the local courthouse. It's a Burbank court. Burbank is just lovely. But
it's absolutely lovely.
We love Burbank.
Do you know why Burbank is lovely?
Why?
Because there's a strong police presence that doesn't really fuck around with people stealing things.
Yeah.
You know, unlike the rest of LA, which has the LAPD, where it's like they're overworked. They got too many things going on. Burbank's like, no, we have all the studios. We can't have crime near Disney.
Yeah.
So You're going to jail.
You're going to jail. But yeah, it was I don't even fully remember. One, I couldn't find clothes to wear to court. Apparently everything I own is hoochie. That was the whole thing.
I feel like I wore a t-shirt.
Yeah, you wore a t-shirt, but I only have crop tops. I couldn't go to court in a crop top.
I feel like you could have. I feel like that's most of Judge Judy's.
Yeah. But they had on a thing you had to wear.
Oh, really?
You had to I had to cover my shoulders or something.
Okay, I get that.
It was just really interesting because when we were waiting for the court to open, there was everyone who was going in for a hearing that day.
Yeah.
Was just there. And so we also got to hear the attorneys being oh, who's the judge today? It was just so casual.
Cool.
Yeah. And then
do you remember the one case that I'll never forget where it was the judge was in a mood.
Yeah, she was.
But not her fault.
Not her fault.
It was because she was dealing with a bunch of hooligans, a bunch of shenanigans from different lawyers, and there was one lawyer who they were they were about to start the case. The prosecutor was there, the defense attorney wasn't, but his client was.
Yeah.
And so she was like, "Let's call him up." And on speaker,
it was on Zoom.
It was on Zoom, but
it was
but
projected.
he didn't have the camera on.
Yeah.
And he was like, "I'm sorry, I'm in another."
He's in Beverly Hills or something.
I'm in Beverly Hills. I have another a arraignment or whatever this is. And she was like, "You know what time this was?" And it just slowly but surely became very apparent that he was lying.
Yeah.
That he just didn't show up. And she was like, "Okay, so why don't you tell me what's the case number of the arraignment you're currently at in Beverly Hills?" There was silence. And she was like, "Give me the case number." And he's like, "All right, so what time should I be there? 1 p.m.?" Yeah. Just completely, you got me. And she's like, "Yes." What was his name?
Mr. Ardini.
Mr. Bardini?
Ardini.
Mr. Ardini.
Yeah.
He kept, oh my God.
Because they were yelling at each other over the phone. That was the funniest thing ever.
We should go to the courthouse just sometimes to fuck around.
I know. We were talking about it. I was when we're retired, we should just it's to the public. You can just go to the courthouse. Why don't people just do that all day?
It's for in the public for good reason. It's supposed to be anybody can see this.
Yeah.
That's the whole idea. It's I forget which amendment, but it's basically we're not going to have these secret trials that you have no idea what goes on.
Yeah.
Anybody can come in. And I don't know why we don't take advantage of that.
I don't know why retired people don't just sit in the stands all day. What's going on?
The pettier the crime, the better too.
Yes.
Obviously murder is a sexy crime to watch.
Yeah.
I want to see do they get him?
Yeah.
Or not. But notice how I said him?
Yeah.
Because I'm a feminist. And women don't kill.
Women don't kill.
No.
They do. What did you call it the other day?
They do chick murder.
Chick murder.
Very different from man murder.
Yeah.
Chick murder. Okay.
Chick murder's poisoning.
Chick murder's, yeah. Chick murder's passive aggressive.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Or maybe a little bit of trickery. Poisoning. And it's never I put the poison directly in their mouth or on their spoon that they were. It's always I poisoned the thing 7 months ago.
Yeah.
And slowly but surely, my husband has been eating it. Now he's been complaining of stomach problems. So I'm going to increase the poison a little bit more, and then I'm going to kind of forget about it. Whereas man murder is I hit him with a bat.
Yeah, it's blunt force trauma.
He died at my hands.
Yeah.
A lot of chick murder is neglect.
Yeah, it's neglect and premeditated
Oh yeah, it's neglect of I heard he was in He called me because he was on fire, and I just didn't do anything.
Your show was so good. Why Women Kill.
The first season was so good.
Yeah, I didn't watch the second season really.
The second season was fine, I'm sure too. It just was one
different.
story, so it wasn't the three thing.
Yeah, but the first season of Why Women Kill was so good, and I liked how at the end. Spoiler alert. They set it up where it was no, they killed each other, or they had another guy kill the bad guy or whatever, and it was. But it was the women who mastermind it. Yeah. And it's yeah.
There's a lot of masterminds.
It's masterminding.
Yeah. No, there's just, it's a different thing. That's why I mean, man, I'm not going to go into that topic just yet. Next episode, we'll talk about what's going to get me canceled.
It's so important to me and so special to me that I am the one who edits this.
I'm going to edit it.
No, you're not.
Okay.
I want the final say on what goes in. I don't trust you to try not to get a rise out of
Is
people.
a lot of this going to be edited?
Probably.
So we're currently at minute 45?
Yeah.
What are we actually at?
What do you mean?
After you edit it, we've done 45 minutes. We've done 45 minutes. So here's the thing. We've done 45 minutes. For the people listening, what time's it going to be for them? How much you estimating that you're cutting out?
It's probably 40 minutes.
40 minutes. So 2 minutes of stuff.
Maybe 38 minutes. Maybe like 4
Like
minutes.
4 minutes of stuff. There's a whole subject, I'm sure.
Maybe. But
Okay.
that's just me guessing.
There's you guessing. You don't have it in the back of your head?
I also edit a lot of things for pacing, where I'm like, we went on for too long with this and just cut it out.
Yeah, no, it's smart that you have it.
IDK.
I'll edit 1 episode a month. That'll be a thing we do.
That'll
It'll
be
just be
your
the episode where it's
treat.
like, hey, guess what?
And then you're going to get us in trouble, and then I'm going to be like, see, that's why you don't have rights.
Get in trouble with who? The fictional internet people?
Yes.
They're not real.
They are in my head.
They're mostly bots.
I'm scared of, yeah, the bots are real.
Elon Musk said they're all bots.
Honestly, I believe that.
Yeah.
The AI stuff is getting too out of control. All these like farms of
Or
bot farms.
Or they're people who don't consider us people.
That's true.
That's the other thing.
Yeah.
Most people don't really who watch our sketches and stuff. They don't think we're real people.
No.
They just
Absolutely not.
No, we are just sort of these entities. We might as well be animated.
Oh my god, our last sketch we posted was the one where I was asking if my outfit is okay.
Yeah.
A lot of people took that as an invitation to insult my outfit. I said, first of all, I really like that outfit.
They did? Oh, they were. I thought you said that's what somebody said. First of all,
No. It was like a lot of people were taking that as an invitation to say I look like a tube sock, Marge
Yeah.
Simpson, a pickle.
That's what I mean.
They were like, strapless doesn't look good on you.
That's what I
A lot
mean.
of stuff like that. And I was like, hey guys, it's just a joke. We don't have to go any deeper than that.
It really is.
It was my birthday outfit last year, okay?
Yeah, and you looked freaking smoking hot.
Thanks.
Okay.
Thanks, babe.
Yeah, they aren't real though. They don't think we're real, so who gives a fuck what they say?
I mean, it'd be a lot easier if my brain worked like that. I've gotten more sensitive with age, which is
Yeah,
really annoying.
I've gotten more dead inside, probably. Jaded would be the more sensitive way to put it, but
Yeah.
but really just to like comments and stuff. But also the thing is too, especially for my audience specifically, I don't think they'll have a problem with anything. They're pretty fast and loose.
Yeah, honestly, a lot of the like,
They don't like when we make cuck jokes though.
yes.
Isn't that so funny?
It is so funny. People are like, any of our jokes that are on the line are so okay for some reason.
Yeah.
Like you comparing yourself to Shaquille O'Neal being like, I'm black or whatever.
Yeah.
Everyone's totally cool with that.
Yeah.
The second we make a cuck joke or I'm cheating on you,
Yeah.
we get paragraphs about how
Cucks and therapy. They don't like
Don't
it.
like it.
Not fun. It's not funny.
it's not funny when your woman cheats on you.
You-
Be a man is
know
what they say.
You know what that tells me? I think my entire audience is just a big bunch of cucks.
Yeah.
They all got cheated on by their women left them for chads.
Yeah.
That's what the internet says.
That's what they say.
They're betas and Chad alphas who own cryptocurrencies. Fuck their wives.
Yeah. That's just living on repeat in their head. Yeah.
And then they
People
followed
are,
us.
People are not okay with that. It is so
I don't
funny.
know why.
And because it's such an easy joke for us to make every time of like, oh, the baby's not yours or something like that.
Yeah.
Or I cheated on you. And people are like, I can't believe you'd say something that's terrible. And it's like, guys, have you looked at the rest of our page?
Yeah, we've said way worse
We
things.
said horrible things.
Yeah.
Not horrible things, but
I've said horrible things.
horrible things.
Terrible.
Terrible
Horrible things.
I know.
That I'll have to pay for one day in the afterlife.
I have written down because I forgot the other day. I was like, oh yeah, we should, because we just posted a plumber video, which is, I feel like we do those like twice a year.
Honestly, on average, it's about once a year because we went a
Yeah.
whole year without doing one.
Yeah, because
We didn't do one in 2022.
oh, really? Interesting. Yeah, because I was like, obviously it's like, that's the sketch that like blew us up. And I was like, we just haven't really like talked about that. Where it's like, it's just so funny that that's the sketch where it's like everyone loves
It's number one.
by far.
Oh, by far. Oh, it's by far. Whenever anybody recognizes us, it's actually always a treat when they don't recognize us from that.
Yeah.
It's always really funny when it's like the TSA agent the other day
Yeah. Oh, that's another thing I've written down.
was like,
We could talk about that story.
Yeah.
So let's come back to that.
we'll come back to that. But the number one thing for me is I still don't really get what's funny about it. I've never really understood it.
So we made, like, I don't even really know how the concept came about. I don't
I think
know.
my brother came up with it. So this is in my head. This was the origin of it. Henry forever ago said to me like, "Oh, we should do a video where it's like you take like we cut in." This is before you came along, so before we had a woman, and he basically was like, "You take like Riley Reid or some famous porn star, her shot in a
Oh, yeah.
porn video." and then we respond cutting to us, and I'm like, what are you talking about? And the whole point is, I don't think his idea was that it's the guy who it doesn't realize he's in a porno, which is the kind of how you would describe it.
Yeah.
But I remember him basically saying that, and to me that was like, oh, that was that, but I'm not sure.
Yeah. No, because it's like that's
you come up with most of our good ideas though. So
no.
Yeah, you do. Yes, you do.
But no, it's like that's along the lines of like the Tucker Carlson videos you guys used to do, which were like my favorite. Where it's like, you cut yourself into like his responses.
Yeah, which was so easy. That was the funniest thing. Real quick, I mean, I don't know anybody. I can't think of anybody who's ever been like, "Hey, I love your videos," and said the Tucker Carlson ones because those were so far long ago. But the funniest thing was if you watch Tucker Carlson, which you should, everyone.
He's off the air.
No, he's not, baby.
He's on the pod.
He's on the pod, and it's delicious. It's just more Tucker takes.
#Tuck.
I fucking love it.
The Tuck.
I listen to him actually all the time because he'll have on like he's a great interviewer for like he had Tim Dillon on.
Yeah, actually, he is a good interviewer.
Awesome.
Yeah.
He has a lot of things where I'm like, okay, well, I need to know about that. And every now and then it's like, I don't know, I kind of want to hear that Joe Biden tried to kill and assassinate Trump. I kind of want to hear that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't necessarily want to believe it necessarily, but sometimes I'm like, well,
you want to hear someone say it.
You're all fired up. Tell me what's up.
Yeah.
But anyway, if you watch Tucker Carlson, he'll say something, and then when his guest is talking, his face is so still you'd think the TV froze. Like his face, like he'd be like, "Why is that?"
Yeah.
Which, when you're editing, when you're green screening in, and it's like, okay, the first one I ever did was like, he had somebody on about, man, what a simpler time it was. It was a video where it was, should Americans start eating horses? Mm-hmm. Because in France they do.
Yeah.
It's like they're bringing the first circle. This is called a callback. Cows. It's like cows in France or some shit. Like they eat them there. And he was talking to the guy who's like, yeah, we should. And the joke was, we made it seem like his guest was talking about that you should eat ass.
Yeah. That was actually one of the first videos I ever saw of yours.
It was good.
Yeah.
Man, we could do it better now with the green screen technology. But still, it was good. But it was so easy because I need Tucker to reply at the right time. Mm-hmm. Usually you have to really doctor it and kind of use some sleight of hand to make it seem like it's all one video without any cuts. You don't have to with Tucker Carlson. He's just...
Yeah.
So I could skip 2 minutes. His face isn't moving 1 inch, 1 pixel.
Yeah, he's locked in.
Yeah.
But yeah, with the plumber video, it's funny. It's like how that's the one where it's like everyone loves it. And it's like that's the only reoccurring bit we have.
Yes.
The only one, because we don't do that with anything else.
Yeah.
I don't think.
Not really. No. We've had some, but not really.
I think we've done the Sigma male.
Yeah, we did
like
that
twice.
one a couple times.
But it's like, that's the one video where after it was done, we almost didn't post it because we were like, what's the bit exactly? Like, we didn't know exactly what it was. And also, we had an alternate ending. Do you remember that?
What was the original ending?
I don't remember what the actual ending was, but remember it was...
I remember you said, cut it at, ma'am, I do my own plumbing.
Yeah, because it dragged out whatever the ending was.
You want me to try to pull up the script?
Yeah, do you still have it? Because I remember it was an alternate ending. It was like longer.
Bitch, I got all the scripts.
Bitch. But it was like, it's just so funny how it's like, that's the video that like actually got us noticed and stuff like that. Because it's like, was so a video we were very close to not uploading. We still to this day are like, oh yeah, like we write the lines and like we think it's funny, but like we come up with so many other videos that we think are 100,000 times funnier and we love, and like,
yeah,
it's just interesting how it's like, that is the video that everyone is like, that's it.
I'll try to find it. I'll find it. We can read it next episode.
Yeah.
But yeah, there was an ending to it.
Yeah, there was a different ending to it. And yeah, ma'am, I do my own plumbing. So to just...
But that's what I mean. That you literally said, stop it there. Yeah. And now it's like a meme.
Yeah.
Crazy. And it makes it so hard to do more of them because every time...
It's just the same thing. We just kind of make a couple different jokes.
But every time I'm like, is this right? Like, I still get the same feeling every time we post one of those that I had the first time, which was like, is this funny?
Yeah.
Like, I just never really understood it, but you know what? It works, baby. Pays the bills.
I know. It's funny how it's like all the videos that like we are most excited for, no one ever sees.
Terrible. They do terrible. They're by far my favorite ones are always. There was one thing where you could make a playlist or something on TikTok.
Oh yeah. You have like my personal favorites.
Yeah, and I updated it one time. I'm sure that was like 800 sketches ago.
Yeah.
But they're basically, you can look at them. They're all the worst performing sketches because people are not about it. But those are my favorites by far.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just interesting how it works that way. Because I'd say that my favorite is the Go-Gurt one.
Yeah. That one's really funny.
Like that one just peaked.
Yes.
Henry was just really good in that video.
Henry was really good. His reactions were really good. That's an idea I had forever.
Yeah.
And it was just the invention of Go-Gurt. And it wasn't as crass as it was.
It was pretty crass.
I'm saying like my original idea wasn't as crass.
It was probably my fault.
Oh, you're so crass. Of course it is.
Because I know I was the one that was like, what if I jerked the Go-Gurt off to Henry's face in the very end?
That's definitely.
I remember being like, we probably shouldn't have done that. But it was really funny.
It was worth it.
It was worth it.
It was really great.
And nobody saw it. Who cares?
And nobody saw it. Watch the Go-Gurt video. The Go-Gurt sketch is the funniest. The premise is when Go-Gurt. I think the bit was. I think it was something when I was originally being like, oh, I'm gonna do stand up, and I would write down bits, and it was when I was a kid, they just were like, how can we take spoons out of the equation? Yeah. Because it wasn't just Go-Gurt. There was Danimals.
The Crush Cups.
They basically just were like, hey, you know what? Yogurt's kind of like a liquid. You know? Maybe what if we sold it sans spoon without the spoon?
Yeah.
And that was the whole bit. And then that became that. And you're right. That's one of my favorite videos we've ever done.
Ever.
Like ever.
Easily.
Yeah. We've done enough now that people will quote them to me and I will be like, what's that from?
Yeah.
And I feel so like a douche.
Yeah.
When I say, what's that from? But I'm like, I don't remember writing that.
Yeah. You know what video we almost didn't post either that recently that actually did pretty good was the birthday sketch.
Which one was that?
It was like what do you want
That's
for
what I'm
your
talking
birthday?
about. Which one was that?
Yeah. What do you want for your birthday? We filmed it here.
Yeah, oh, yeah.
That was another one where when, like you were like showing me the edits of it. You kind of were like, you said to me, tell me if we shouldn't post this.
I was like, this is wrong. Well, to be fair too, we didn't post that version of it. We going to bed, I pulled my laptop out. So you were going to bed and I pulled my laptop out and I was like, you know what? I think I fucking have it. And I was like, I'm just going to double the amount of times we go there, back.
Oh, yeah.
Or whatever. And then I showed it you the next morning. Like, okay, wow. Okay. That's much, much better.
Yeah.
Like it hammered the point across more.
Yeah. It was something, but it was like that one did really good. And I remember, but we both were like, And I was like, honestly, you've worked so long on it and it's not like bad. I was like, just post it. But you made some changes to it. But yeah, it's just funny how that works. Because everyone that we're kind of like, oh yeah, this is okay.
Yeah.
It hits it out of the park.
Yeah. It's anytime I'm like, this one's really stupid, it does really well. And it's lovely, but it's upsetting.
Yeah. Although the 23andMe one was one that you wanted to do for a long time. And that one did do really well. The Shaq one.
Yeah, the Shaq one.
Oh, yeah.
Wait, God, am I like losing my memory?
I think you are.
Because this was not long ago.
No, it wasn't. It was where you found out you weren't really that Irish.
Oh, yeah.
You were like, what are you talking about? I have cousins in Boston.
I have fucking cousins in Boston. What are you talking about? I love the Dropkick Murphys. I know every word to Flogging Molly's Drunken Lullabies. You're telling me I'm not Irish? Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
My favorite thing about, I knew it's something that's like, I don't know how to be able to get this into a sketch, but my favorite 23andMe thing is like my family, we all did it. So I'm one of 5 kids. And I remember, when we got the results, my mom saying like, what do you think it's going to be? And I said, I don't know what it's going to be, what everyone's are going to say, but I know that it's going to somehow be a competition and we don't know we don't actually know what we're competing for, but we're all going to basically be able to agree this sibling has the highest score.
Yeah.
And I don't know what that even means. Yes. And there's just something to that too. If you did it with your siblings and stuff, it's just the like, okay, who's the most Italian? Is that the coolest one?
Uh-huh.
Coolest? Is that what you guys are all going for? I don't know.
Well, me and my siblings wouldn't.
Your half siblings, you couldn't do it. No. Yeah, true.
Okay, sorry, I cut you off the TSA story earlier because I was like, let's get through the Palmer thought of we just came back from like a week-long trip.
Yeah.
And And
I'm really tired.
I know. It was a great week-long trip. We saw your family for a week. We hung out at the lake. The dogs came with us.
I love the lake.
I do too. It's a great time.
Yeah.
But so obviously it's like we've just gotten married and like I haven't like done all like the name changing stuff yet. Like it's a lot. And like we also just moved. And so like I had to like do a lot of other like changing my IDs and like, I don't know, just all this like paperwork stuff where it was like I couldn't change my name yet or whatever. The reservation, your mom made the plane reservation and it said Michaela O'Shea on it. Where it's like, that's not my legal name yet, sort of thing.
Yeah.
And when we got to TSA, the guy said, and we didn't notice that the last name wasn't right.
We got to Clear because we have Clear.
Yeah.
And when you scanned your ticket, you put your face in. It said name and ticket like mismatch.
Yeah.
And I was hoping the guy would be like
you're fine.
You're fucking fine. Look at you. You're not going to do anything. You're not.
This is the face of innocence.
No. Again, do I have to bring it back up? Chick murder. Chicks don't do that. Are women likely?
Chicks could smuggle though, to be fair.
Okay. Who's that really hurting?
That's true.
You know?
It helps the economy.
It helps the economy. We're stimulating the economy. My whole point is, I get it. My name's mismatched. Bring me to the side. Find out, am I on like the dark cesspools of Twitter, or not Twitter, of like Discord and stuff. Find out all that stuff. Do it. You should. You're fine.
Yeah.
Sweetie, you're there's no threat.
But yeah, so like we go and I was like, oh, shit, the name's wrong or whatever. We had already like gone to the counter, like ticket printed or whatever. You can't change it after that. So they're like, you just have to go to TSA. I'm like, hope for the best. Like they're kind of their own thing. Like they have nothing to do with the airport or whatever. So you have to go. The guy, we were sweating, we were freaking out. We're like, shit, we're gonna miss our flight. It's gonna be the whole thing. Guy at TSA, knows who you are.
Yeah, he was like, hey, I just watched your video.
And we were like, no way.
Yeah.
Perfect. You're exactly the guy we want to talk to right now.
This is great. So I was like, so you know that's my wife.
Yeah, you know I'm a person, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. And so cha-ching, he lets us through.
He lets us walk right through.
He said, go on in, miss. I said, thank you.
Which turns out might not have actually been the best thing because
we did not know.
We had return tickets. And the problem is when you ride that first plane, you can't change anything to ride that second. It's set in stone.
Because it's a return flight. They were like, nope, can't. So you called, you were like, we're not going to deal with this. I'm going to get your name changed on the ticket. They're like, because it's a return flight, you can't change the name. You have to go to the airport and figure this out. We were like, shit.
And half of me was like, you know what? Worked the first time.
Yeah. So I kept that attitude too. I was like, it's going to work out.
Yeah.
What are they going to do? And then I was like, watch them arrest me.
Yeah.
But so we get to the airport early. It's a whole thing. We have our dogs, so we have to go through the special services line because we're bougie. So that already takes like 30 minutes. And then when we get to the security line, longest security line.
Like 9/11 level security lines. I
was like, even if there was no issue on my end.
Yeah.
I don't know if we're making this plane.
I did not know if we would get to the front in time.
No, I didn't either.
And the whole time we're approaching, and they have like 5 different TSA agents who are accepting tickets. And I kept on looking. I was like, I hope we get that one or that one.
You're always looking for the nice one.
Well, I'm looking for the nice one, but I'm also looking, I want it to be a man, more likely that they know who we are. And we get another. I was like, there was one guy, I was like, that guy knows who we are.
Yeah.
And the one we got was like a woman TSA agent who like, I think it was like her first month.
I don't know. She was nice.
She was really nice, but the point is she's not confident enough with her job yet to be like, you're fucking fine. Go.
Yeah.
You know? Of course she's going to call the supervisor.
Yeah.
Or of course she's going to say exactly what the book says. Whereas that one guy I was pointing out was like, one, I know that guy watches our videos because he keeps on giving me that look like, do I know you from something?
Yes.
Which is all we get. Sometimes somebody will be like, hey, I know exactly who you are. Most people are like, did we go to high school together?
Yeah.
That's usually the look is like, do we used to work together?
Yeah. It's like, I know you from somewhere.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I like go up, I put on my like nice customer service. I'm like, okay, so I have a problem. Like we actually just got married and like I didn't see that my name was this, blah, blah, blah. It's a return flight. We called, they wouldn't let us change. And so we had to talk to you.
Yeah.
Like I was like, it's your time to shine, girl. What do? I have to get on this plane. And she's like, well, has to match. And I was like,
yeah, because that's what the book says. And she doesn't know she can skate around it.
I was like, I understand that. So how do I get through?
Yeah.
I don't know what to do. We've taken all the things to try to change this because we did not know. And so she calls over someone else from TSA. Someone else comes over. And they have to like question me and all this stuff. And I just remember being like, oh my God. Like I was like, I don't even know my legal name half the time because I also was adopted when I was 18. And so I like sometimes I'm like, I got like another birth certificate when I was 18, which is weird.
It's confusing as all hell.
I was like, I don't know who I am. Am I about to be in trouble?
Yes.
And so I remember they were like talking to us, and the guy was like super cool about it. He was like, this happens all the time with people who just got married, which like, of course.
Because he had the supervisor energy of like,
Yeah.
I've seen this before. It's not a big deal. Let's do A, B, and C.
Yeah.
You know?
So then he had to like, I had to like fill out this thing, and then he had to like call like above him or whatever. He had to like call the center, like the TSA like center, you know, that they're up there in the bubble. And I remember him just saying to you like, because you were like answering the questions with me when I was like, this is my husband. Like, that's why the last name is this.
Well, because you were like, what's our zip code again? It's like, we have the like shared brain thing that you get when you're a couple, where it's like, I know the zip code, you know this thing.
Yeah.
I'd have to ask you for like 12 different other info things. So,
yeah, I was like, we just moved. I haven't like learned our zip code yet. I know our address, but I can't remember zip codes.
Zip codes are tough.
They're tough.
Yeah.
Zip codes are hard.
Make that a sticker.
I know.
We're gonna sell those shirts. Zip codes are hard.
Zip codes are hard.
Yeah.
God, it's just a girl.
Yeah.
But and he just said to you, he's like, okay, I'm gonna call, and if she's answer a question, he looked at you, he's like, you cannot. They can't hear you try to answer a question because then it's gonna be like we're in cahoots.
Yeah.
They were like, he gave us the like, okay, we're playing games right now.
I took a step back. I was like,
It was like, you guys are gonna go to jail if you fuck up this next part, basically.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay. I like was like shaking. I was like, okay. And like when he asked my birthday, I gave him the most like 8. Like I was like
12. Yeah.
I was like trying to give him the most clear answer or whatever. But they thank God let us through when we made this flight. But we thought we were the luckiest people on earth when we got through TSA the first time and the guy recognized us. We were like, oh, this is gonna be. Thank God that happened. No problemo. And then that screwed us in the end.
Especially because in hindsight, we had time before it was boarding in the first one. We could have ran back and said, can you change the name? There was nobody in that line. Anyway. And this is why I get stressed going to airports.
Yeah, no, airports they're tough.
Yeah, they're tough. And I just still always have in my, I'm from the DC area, and just like in my head, airport security is always what it was post 9/11.
Yeah.
Where it was like, oh, you should go like at least 4 hours early.
Yeah.
And you might make the flight.
Yeah.
And I just remember literally standing there. How many of the kids were born? 4 of us. 1 was a baby. And just moving like an inch by inch with like our little duffel bags that we each carried because they didn't have roller bags at the time. And it just was so much more intense. And it's still mind-boggling to me when we go to an airport. It's like, and we just walked right through.
I know. Yeah. It's like, oh yeah, it was so easy.
It's like, I always get that when we go to like take a train.
Yeah.
You just fucking walk on.
I know. When we got on the train, I was like, you just walk on? Why is there no metal detector?
A little bit of advice for drug cartels. Move by train. Yeah. There's a dog. Hopefully it doesn't smell you. I don't know.
They didn't even like check our tickets. It
no.
felt like.
No, they do.
Do they?
It's because I always have both their tickets and I always go, they do the tickets please, but they don't say it like that. I wish they did. Tickets please.
Tickets please. Give me a tickets.
Present your ticket. And then they do a thing where they clip it and then they put it on your seat.
Okay.
Yeah. Huh. These are the things as a shared brain.
Shared unit.
I handled that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
By the way, do you think I'm such a cool girl today wearing a band t-shirt?
You're wearing one of my favorite bands, Eagles. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Not the Eagles.
I know, but they're the Eagles. Half the time they call themselves the Eagles.
I know.
But then they'll be like, we're Eagles.
We're Eagles.
Like, it's stupid.
I know.
Even though the band is fantastic and we will be seeing them at the Sphere in like a matter of weeks. Yeah. We're excited. That's a very boomer thing we're doing too.
Yeah.
Going to the Sphere.
We did go
Even that's pretty boomer.
I can't wait to go to the Sphere.
Same. Because we're apparently old.
Yeah, we are really old.
Everybody's like, oh, I'm really excited to see the Sphere. But all the people who are like, oh, you have to go to the Sphere. I just need to see it. Are those people who are like, did you watch Jeopardy last night?
Yeah,
you know?
Which is us. But when we went to go see the Eagles at like the Forum, we were easily the youngest people there.
Shot like by decades.
It was hilarious.
Yeah. To be fair, it was like supposed to be like one of their last shows in LA at the time.
Yeah.
So I think it was just I saw them in 77 people who were like, gotta see him close it out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it was just so funny because I'd never been to a concert before. Before the show started, there was like a thing they put on the screen that was like, be mindful of standing up.
Yeah.
Don't stand up if the people behind you are sitting down, basically. Like, don't block their view. And I was like, I've never seen that before at a concert. That's weird.
I've never seen sitting remote, like everybody seating at a concert, unless we're at like a Broadway show, if you count the
Yeah, it's like, that's a show. You're sitting down. It's like, seats are really unnecessary for concerts. Like,
Yeah. There's a reason why in a lot of concerts there's the pit
yes.
where they take seats completely out of the equation.
Yeah, it's like, let's just stand. Let's just be.
Yeah, you know what? That's the
If anything, I want more standing room in our seats. I hate that I'm like, I'm going to fall over.
Yeah,
like,
well, at the Forum where we saw them, it's like, that was back when the average American was smaller.
yes.
For sure.
Yes.
Because my hips don't fit in that thing.
No, it did not.
No.
But, and so it was like, okay, they're coming out. Everyone's sitting down.
Yeah.
Everyone sat down the whole show. I felt so like bad if I wanted to stand up.
What do I do with my legs while they're playing?
I also felt bad for the Eagles. It's like,
But
you want like the concert, like you want the people to be giving you the energy back. But everyone was sitting. That was the fun. Also, it was no phones were out. I thought that was cool.
That was awesome.
There was really nobody recording. It was just everyone was just kind of enjoying. That was nice.
I've recorded, because I almost never record anything at concerts. This was actually, weirdly enough, one of the only concerts where I've ever been like, I have to record something. Mm-hmm. I recorded the beginning because just so I could be like, so I could remember that I saw them here.
Yes.
You know, where it's like, it's one of those bands where it's their last tour, which is never going to fucking end. So what does that even mean?
This is the tour that we're seeing them on. It's the same one.
It's the same tour.
It's the long goodbye.
They were supposed to only have like 20 more shows after that, and they've had 100 since because they keep on adding more. But it's their last tour. I think they're basically going to go until Don Henley. Man, this is just a conversation I feel like our audience just does not give a fuck about.
I feel like a lot of your audience, yeah.
I actually don't think so. I think I'm weird in this respect.
Let us know at the email address.
Email at
or
publicpoolpodcast.com.
Why are we not just telling people to put things in the comments? We could use some comments.
Okay, or put it in the comments.
Yeah. You know, people are
on
supposed
YouTube?
to leave. Yeah.
Yeah, or leave in the comments on YouTube.
Yeah.
Yeah. Or do both. Email too. But anyway, I think they're basically just going to go until, because Don Henley was like, I'm stopping because I'm starting to lose my hearing.
Oh, yeah.
I think he's like, I'll just, like every time they're like, oh, it's the last show. He's like, I can still hear like how I could at the beginning of this tour.
Mm-hmm.
Let's play more. And we're basically just going to go till he's deaf. And I respect that.
Yeah, I respect that too. Why not?
Yeah. I think that's it, right?
I think that's it.
All right. Towel off.
I know. Also, make sure you subscribe to the YouTube channel.
Oh, yeah. Subscribe to the YouTube channel.
Sorry. Okay, honestly, the first episode we released was really like our third episode. We recorded like 3, and then I was like, the third one was honestly the best. Let's just start with that one. Mm-hmm. So we said, welcome back. We had 0 intro. We were just kind of going. Mm-hmm. Yeah, if you guys can, because we got some fresh new channels going out. If you want to follow us on like YouTube, that would be the most helpful. If you're listening on Spotify, give us a follow and a rating would be fabulous. Maybe, go crazy, subscribe to the YouTube too.
But what will we give them in return?
This podcast.
Yeah, but I want to see, is there something we can give?
Not yet.
I don't know.
We'll touch base. We'll touch base.
So here, real quick. You know the feet people, guys who are into feet? Is it all feet or has to be a woman's feet? Because I'll send you a picture of my feet.
No, I think that'd be into your feet.
Are they?
Yeah.
They don't see gender with the feet?
Well, I think that there's an audience for your feet.
If you want my feet, if you want a picture of my feet, take a screenshot of your 5-star review.
And your subscription to YouTube.
And then just email and be like, hey.
Yeah.
Make with the pics. And here's my last promise. Everyone gets an individual picture. No copies. When I read it, I take a picture and I send it right to you.
Okay.
I have no problem with people seeing my feet. I have beautiful feet.
You actually do have gorgeous feet.
And for some reason, I do.
You have beautiful feet.
I could model socks, but then what would the point be?
Yeah, that's true.
You're hiding my toes.
Why hide those beautiful piggies?
Why would I hide? I could model flip-flops.
Flip-flops. The things you can't wear to steakhouses.
5 stars. Great callback, by the way. 5 stars, you get a foot. Yeah. And if you don't want a foot, oh my God, just give it 5 stars and subscribe anyway.
I noticed people like really kind to us because if you actually go to like the About tab on this YouTube channel, it says started in 2021. We've been trying to start this for a long time.
It's not like we've been trying, we just put it off for a long time.
The life has gotten in the way. But,
life, you know.
So yeah, if you guys, we're just a small little channel. Please help us out. Give us some views. Share with your friends.
Sure.
Share with your family.
Sure.
And yeah, we love you guys, and we'll see you guys next week.
I don't love you, not yet. Towel off.
Oh, but feet pictures are in?
That's not love, baby. That's lust.
That's lust.
Yeah. I don't get it. I just still don't get the foot thing. All right. Towel off.
Okay.
Bye.
Bye. Wear your sunscreen.